This is Fireman Ed, and you're listening to Jets Commute, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Jet fans, let's rock MetLife Stadium this year. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Go Jets! This is Fireman Ed, and you're listening to Jets Commute, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Jet fans, let's rock MetLife Stadium this year. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Go Jets! This is Fireman Ed, and you're listening to Jets Commute, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Jet fans, let's rock MetLife Stadium this year. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Go Jets!
Morning. We'll wait for people to come up and talk. Hope everybody's good. If you guys can hear me, just give me a thumbs up just to make sure the space is working. Please. It's trying to connect you, Whittle. Whittle, you up here? All right,
Yes,
cool.
good morning, Pete. How are you?
I'm good, man. The way you just said good morning, I call another sales guy every day and act like that. So that's funny. I'm good besides the Jets, bro, but what else changed? Nothing changes. Nothing changes.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Um,
What are you guys? 1.5 point underdog?
I honestly, Pete, I haven't looked at the line. I don't care.
Are you going? Are you going? Your shit's bugged, bro.
Said what?
June, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
What's up, CB? Good morning. Lee Sean, good morning.
What up? The Bills are
Morning to
2-point
son.
favorites.
Oh my fucking goodness.
Oh, I asked the question. They're 2 points?
2-point favorites, not underdogs.
All right, so technically Kansas City's favorite. Oh, June, I made a mistake yesterday.
No, the Bills are technically favored.
Oh
Well,
what?
well, because the home team's supposed to give 3 points, so Kansas City's favored by 1. But go ahead, Lee Sean. June, I made a mistake. The Jets have 32 million in money next year, which is not a lot.
It's not a lot at all.
No, it's not. So that concerns me. But I guess with the Adams restructure and all that other stuff, I mean, if they're going to just, whatever, we'll get into it, June.
Well, you can get another $10 million from Quinnen, can't you?
Probably.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
About what? Money? CB. We're having trouble with Whittle. Yeah, 10 million for Quinnen. Oh, CB, I wanted to ask you a question in June. Would you tender Tony Adams?
I would get rid of him. I'd fuck tender and just trade him.
But they can't
Well, he's a
because
free agent.
yeah. So if they tender him and somebody signs him, they do get a draft pick. It depends on where they tender him, though. So like Bryce
I would
Young,
tender him at
June want to
a
trade free agents,
original
huh?
round.
what? What, Lee Sean?
He's
I
true.
said June want to trade free agents.
Hey, yo, don't start this shit in the morning, bro.
Nah, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling.
Lee Sean, what would you tender him for? I mean, Lee Sean, CB, a second, a first.
Yeah, I
I
put a
wouldn't.
second round tender on him, and if
First.
you
Ain't
get him back,
nobody
you get him
giving you
back.
nothing for that,
Let me
No,
know.
man.
You let me
I
know. It is what
understand
it
that,
is.
June. I'm just asking the question. I
If
wouldn't
you
give him a
tender him,
second.
it'd only be for I wouldn't make
June
it
don't like
anything
him
out of
anyway.
Yeah, and you know that. I would trade his ass for a cheerleader. I don't give
But
a
you
fuck.
can't trade a tendered player.
Well, I would tender him for a cheerleader. Anything. Get him up out of here.
Terrence, what
a
would you do?
fifth round at the most. And if he's gone, he's gone. I mean, I'm sure you could get somebody else in the draft or in free agency that can play just as well as he can.
Yep, you're right. But they're gonna have to replace
But
Clark and him.
if you tender him, PD, what's his salary at that point?
I think. Well, Huff's was 4 million at second. I don't know what the
Okay,
positions are.
Yeah.
but again, though, like looking at it, Tony Adams has been the best safety on this roster. I know that's a low bar or whatever, but again, the dude can come down into the box and play man to man. He can play a deep half. The kid is what, 24 years old? Why would you not tender him, hold on to him, and see if you can get a true free safety like June and I were saying all goddamn offseason?
All off season.
Right, but not for a second round tender.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know if I
That's
would do
fine.
it.
It doesn't matter. Whatever tender, because no one's trading for him. So it really comes down to, do you want to keep him or don't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I would do it for fifth, but that would be it.
I think though you kind of have to do it in a way because there's so much turnover coming on the defense. So I think you might have to do it at second round. Even though I would hesitate, Terrence, I would, to be honest.
Well, also, we're assuming that Joe Douglas won't be the GM next year, right? So maybe the new guy's like, that's a Joe
Yeah, I'm not
Douglas thing.
assuming. I think he's definitely gone. There's no question.
Right. The guy might just be like, I'm getting rid of anybody that Joe Douglas signed as soon as possible. But yeah, I would tender him for a fifth. I mean, Bryce Huff is one thing, but I don't know. The guy's hurt a lot. I think he's adequate, but that's where I say if somebody tenders him and we get a fifth rounder, I think we can get somebody else just as good. But, I mean, yeah, I know CB makes good points, but to me, Like I mean, he's third year in the system,
Yep.
right?
The
I mean,
system will
when has
change
he
next
really
year
started
too.
dominating?
The system's going to change next year, I'm assuming.
Yes, of course.
So, and I don't know. It's just a shame that we have to talk about this.
But
I saw.
my last
Go,
point on this, PD, is if you bring in right like a Brian Flores, somebody who likes to blitz and place a man behind it with a little bit of zone, whatever. All I'm saying is Tony Adams has the versatility. He was a corner in college. This dude has played in man-to-man situations. I think just letting him walk would be a mistake, in my opinion.
I agree.
Get escort his ass out the
Yeah,
building.
but June. I understand that, but you got to. And I'm not saying you're not thinking logically here, but when you got to think,
Make,
they got
make
to bring
sure
these guys
Chargers
back.
he doesn't start.
They have to have bodies to play. June.
Well, I'm sure you can find a better body than his. Get his ass about the building, man.
Well, who do you want, Jalen Key? Because they're going to have to replace the whole back end of the safety. And uh,
You know
uh,
what? I'd rather take a chance
well,
on him.
June, but wait, hold on here, because you want to get rid of Sauce. So they're DJ Reed, Sauce, Chuck Clark, and Tony Adams are gone. You got to rebuild the whole secondary with $32 million in total money. It ain't happening. I think they're bringing him back now based off of that. That's what I think.
Look, my bum ass team gonna bring everybody back anyway to run that bullshit back, which doesn't make no fucking sense. All you doing is delaying the inevitable.
I know. I told you, June, though, that they were going to do this. It's a business to Woody. He's not going to have an empty stadium.
And which is the reason why we're gonna get second tier coach to go through this bullshit. Because ain't
All right.
nobody first tier taking this
Well,
fucking job.
when we get Mike Vrabel, hopefully, uh,
Mike
I,
Vrabel is not coaching the Jets with the bullshit. If you're the owner, you tell him, look, I want you to coach my team, but you know what?
but what?
You
All
you
right,
got to
June.
take Rodgers.
Yeah,
You got ain't nobody doing that
but June,
bullshit.
how do you know? What if some coach says, "Oh, maybe I can win here and turn things around"? You don't know that.
Listen, I know this organization long enough to
Yeah.
know there ain't no fucking team, ain't nobody doing that bullshit, Petey. No one's doing that. Once again, Vrabel has options. He has options. So do
All
you
right.
mean
Well,
tell me? Do you mean tell me he's going to go to the team that says that they're forcing a 40-year-old
yeah.
quarterback who has the narrative of running shit? That's not happening, bro. It's not going down. It's logic.
All right. By the way, I want to mention real quick Vince yesterday with the all-time rant
Yeah, I
of
love it. I love it.
he said Aaron Rodgers truthers. I cannot believe
Yeah,
what I heard.
I
Vince,
love.
I see you down there. That
I
was
love it,
epic.
V.
That
V, I
was
love.
epic.
Petey needed to hear that. V, I appreciate that.
Listen, man. I knew they. I'm happy that Rodgers is coming back. We're gonna stink anyway, so whatever.
You rather stink with him? Nah.
June.
Well, I'm fine with him coming back, but he needs to realize this is the last year and all he's doing, he'll try his best and we'll try to have a good season, but there's a new regime in and a new culture, and the whole idea is to build for the future, and that's it. But I mean, I don't think that's what he wants. I mean, I know
Me
the
neither,
man isn't here. I'm
Terrence.
not gonna.
I agree with you,
Yeah,
Terrence.
yeah, that's all. It's just, and like you said, what agent for a head coach is going to tell him that this is the place you want to be? It's a very and it's a dysfunctional organization. Nobody wants to come here.
Thank you.
So
I'm sorry.
all right.
That's the
So
truth.
why
We're
did
going to get the third or fourth best coach that's out
all
there,
right? So why did
and we have to hope that's
so
good.
why did people go to the Knicks when the Knicks were in such disarray with Dolan? Why did Isaiah Thomas go there? Who else was there? Mike Woodson.
Well, yeah, well, only now with Thibodeau are you
All right.
starting to reap the
But
benefits,
how about
right?
Amari Stoudemire when he signed? Was that a bad signing for him? He went to a shit organization, and yes,
First,
they paid him.
hey, Petey, first of all, he got overpaid. Second of all, he
Correct.
was coming off an injury that still ended up fucking him up anyway. So he didn't have a lot of options. This is what I keep telling you. Coaches who don't have a lot of options will take this job. Coaches with options is not taking this fucking job, bro. They're just not gonna do it.
Imagine winning 6 games with Aaron Rodgers and bringing him back again. This is fucking crazy.
Yeah, yo, it's crazy. It's
Yo, you know
crazy.
what? I'm gonna start it next year. We'll fucking beat you once. Mark my word.
It's fucking crazy. Now, Pete, check it out, Pete. Again, I'm not saying it's Rogers' fault. And at the end of the day, he's the last man on the totem pole when it comes to pointing fingers. But to bring him back is not a smart idea, bro. It's not a smart idea.
Okay, that's your opinion on it.
Office, what's up, brother? Good morning.
Good morning, fellas and ladies. How y'all doing?
Good man. No beanie this morning. I bet it's not as cold.
Yeah, not so much this morning, my brother. I'll take this weather a little better. Question for you. Do you think the Jets would be one of the first teams to hire a new coach, be more in the middle or more at the end?
It's gonna be at the end because all the good candidates will pick their jobs, and then we're gonna pick the second or
Well,
third tier coach.
no, wait, June. To be fair, though, hold on here. Ben Johnson, people are gonna have to wait because people are expecting Detroit to go far. Okay, there's one. I'm sure Slowick, Houston will probably make a little noise in the playoffs. So the Jets will be meeting with people. They can meet with Vrabel after the year.
Hey Pete,
I'm
Pete,
just saying.
hey Pete. Ben Johnson could play till fucking July. He's
I'm
not coming to the
right. I
fucking
I never
Jets.
said I don't even mention him on the Jets coaching carousel. I don't
True,
even
true,
mention him.
true, true.
I don't. I've never mentioned him. He's not even
When
on the
are they
list.
allowed to tamper? When are they allowed to like
I
tamper
think
with
after
that?
the
You
first, I'm not sure. I think it's
you have to.
go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, it's near the end of the season, and you have to ask the team, is it okay if you talk to them if they're still in the playoffs? You have to request permission to talk to them. If they tell you no, then you have to wait till the end of the season, or until they're out.
And usually, like on the off day, I think like Tuesday, because most teams don't practice on Tuesday.
They
And when
might they might have implemented a new rule where like like how they have like the top coordinators interview with the teams during the playoffs. They they did something with that rule to where it's not allowed like it used to be. I gotta look this shit up, but I know they changed the rule on that.
Yeah, because I know when Mike McDonald came out about his opportunities, he literally told the media, he said, I'm doing this on my own time and not while I'm working for the Ravens. I remember him saying that. You know what I mean? Like, he was literally like, I'm looking for a new job when I go home, just to clear the air for himself. You know what I mean? Like, that's a tricky process because it's dirty.
yep, I'm just saying, man. If you're getting thrown $15 million a year, which Woody's never done, but if he does it, so, Vrabel will come here. Now Belichick, I never would think Belichick would ever come here. I
Oh,
think
oh
if
he,
Woody Johnson offered him $30 million, Belichick would not come here.
no, but they can't stand each other. But besides that, don't think that the Jets will be the only team to offer Mike Vrabel 15 million. This is what I'm saying. As long as he has
Right.
options, why would he take this job?
But what job is
Right.
really
Bill
a
Belichick's
real?
worth 70 million, by the way, right now.
Well, don't you think though, like a Ben Johnson is probably a candidate for the Bears or the Bengals? Let's say the Bengals,
The
don't
the
make it and they
Bengals, the
fire
Bengals,
Zach Taylor
the Bengals is the job to take.
because of Burrow. Now, is Jacksonville going to be an appealing job? You say no, June,
No,
usually.
I wouldn't. I'm gonna say this because the roster, yes, but because the owner, no.
All right, what's the other teams? Miami, I don't think is going to fire McDaniel, but
Cleveland
what do
could
I know?
possibly lose Stefanski.
Cleveland. Well,
We
then if they lose Stefanski, You
The
know,
Giants and the Cowboys.
yeah. You think well, Vrabel? I bet you if Belichick doesn't go to Dallas, that Vrabel would go there. That's where Vrabel would go.
And I can see that too.
If you went with Stefanski, do you think he would go with Tyrod Taylor for a little while? Just say, like, if it,
No,
hypothetically.
what do you mean? Like him here?
Yeah, like if he can't.
Oh, him coaching?
Yes,
Would he bench Rodgers?
possibly, maybe.
See, see,
I
see,
don't think
see,
so.
see that, that's the thing. Because he says he's coming back, and how Woody is also head over heels for Rodgers. You're the head coach, and you can't even bench Rodgers. That's crazy.
Albeit his system would probably fit Rodgers better. You know what I mean? He doesn't know what he's doing now. It might work out. You never know. I actually think he's a pretty good coach. I just think their owner and Deshaun Watson screwed his chances. That shit was over once all that happened for
Oh,
him.
he's a
He
very
should have
good
left.
coach. Office. I would love him.
Yes,
Two-time
sir.
coach of the year, no question. But I don't know, man. I don't see. Look, because he just got fired, he could take the job. I can see that. I could
Oh
definitely
yeah,
see it.
and that'd be the right type of money to pull him right in. He'd go for that 15 million, no problem. I bet you. Because Monken's going to take a while to be available if we can keep rolling. You know what I mean? Like it's going to take a while to be able to talk to him, like y'all were saying. That tamper period's not for a little while. We're probably still what 6, 7 weeks away from that.
More.
Monk,
Well, yeah. There's still 7 weeks left.
Monk. Although I like
Well, there's
Monken,
8 weeks left.
Monken would never take the Jet job. He interviewed for the Jet job before he wanted it, and the Jets passed up on him. I guarantee you, he won't do it.
Oh, he did. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was the time when we interviewed him and McCarthy, and we ended up hiring Adam Gase.
who got fired by the
Hey,
Terps? Coach
hey,
Loxley
June.
fired
By the
him, dude.
way, June, did you see my Adam Gase picture?
Yeah, I seen that shit.
I was at the press
Look, he had
conference.
one eye on you and one eye on the camera.
Yeah, that was an awkward. I was there. It was awkward as hell.
Yeah, he got fired 2 weeks ago in Maryland football.
Who, Adam Gase?
Yes, sir.
Are you fucking kidding me? This guy, he would get fired coaching the Pop Warner team.
You know what's crazy? Coach Locks, he coached offense at Alabama and all that. You know what I'm saying? So like, it was weird because he fired him, but he like was like, "Look, he's a very good coordinator. It's just not working. Like, I have to move on basically because college that shit's all finicky." But yeah, he got relieved of his job down here, my man.
Yeah, Charles, you came up. You believe Rogers is coming back, or he may change his mind.
Oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. I think he's coming back. And y'all were talking about coaches. I want Brian. What's his name? Brian Flores. That's his
Yes,
name.
yes.
That's who the fuck I want. We was talking about it yesterday. I want that mean son of a bitch to coach my team. That's who I want. That's who I want.
I don't blame you.
And not for nothing, because he has less options, we can actually get him because he don't have too many options. But once again, will Woody sit there and go against his peers and hire him?
Well, Woody Johnson, June. There's no. It's not like anything bad. Woody Johnson's definitely gone. We've we've had. Hold on one second. June, can you hear me?
I got you.
Yeah, no. The Jets have hired, two black coaches and Salah.
Nah, but see,
So there's no issue with
no, no,
that.
no. It's not the black thing. It's the fact that he's suing the league. So he's being
No, I
blackballed from
know
heck.
that.
Right. So will Woody go against his peers to give him a job?
What other minority
Well, what is
candidate could they hire per the Rooney Rule, or at least interview? Petey?
Aaron Glenn.
Aaron Glenn? There's candidates in house. Tony Oden
Oh
would
yeah,
probably get an interview.
I want him to be
Marquel
y'all's
Emmanuel,
GM.
Marquand. So, but all I'm saying is, June Flores is on my list too.
Oh no, he's number 2 on my list. Absolutely. What's up,
Vince,
Vince?
Mr. Epic Rant.
What's up, guys? I have like 2 minutes. I can jump in a second. The thing on Rodgers, first and foremost, it's not a surprise he's coming back because if you look at Devontae Adams' contracts, the way it was restructured when he got traded here, it's basically a 2-year deal at a low cap hit. And I don't think including this season. And there was definitely a meeting between Rodgers, Adams, and Woody, right after that trade or before that trade that basically solidified they were running it back. It doesn't surprise me about what happened yesterday. It makes me fucking sick over it, but it doesn't surprise me that he's going to come back and Adams will come back and they'll just run the whole goddamn thing back and we'll just kick $90 million in cap hit down the road, be 6-10, and still don't have a quarterback. That's the first thing. The thing with Vrabel that scares me is if Las Vegas, if they become available. And the reason why that scares me is because one of Vrabel's best friends with New England was Tom Brady, who now is a minority owner with the Vegas Raiders. So I do think that if that job does become available, that Mike Vrabel will most likely take that. To be with Brady. I know Davis has no share of he's got no fear of spending a ton of money too. So I'm pretty sure he'll get a nice little chunk and change there. In regards to the Jets and Rodgers and whatnot, yeah, whatever coach comes in here, this is why we always get the bottom of the barrel people. That we're not over anyone's first choice. If anybody comes in here, he's going to have to be told that he's going to have to play Aaron Rodgers for a year. Same thing with the GM. If the GM liked a quarterback in 2025 in the draft, they're going to basically be told that they can draft them, but they can't start them. So, it's the same bullshit every year. This is definitely a nicer rant than I did yesterday, but that's kind of where I take on the coaches. I don't think we're getting Vrabel for the Brady reason, and Rodgers and Adams are both coming back, and we're still going to suck.
Vince, is the phone screen all cleaned up from yesterday?
It's good. I used some wet wipes, clean that up, change the screen protector just to be sure. So
wow, changing the screen protector, shit. So,
My man chopped it up like it was hibachi. It was awesome.
I mean, I've gone at it with Vince, but that was just next level.
But Pete, did you just hear what he said? The same thing.
Yeah.
Basically, we're gonna get bottom tier, either tier 2 or tier 3 coach. That's what's gonna happen. And we're gonna end up doing the same shit all over again.
But was Robert
You know what else
Sauer
is
a
killing
teal?
you? The secret squirrel.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
When they have secret squirrel meetings, it's not good for the team. Like you said, if
Why, you
3
think
people,
Rodgers is doing that behind people's backs?
I'm starting to believe so, Petey. And just playing secret squirrel, they do it in Little League baseball all the time, like to get their kids playing time and shit. It's just crazy, and that's probably not helping, dude. Like if you're the other 50 or so men, how you feel about 3 people on your team meeting by themselves, leaving you all out of the mix? You got nothing to say, and it all boils down to 3 brains. 2 of them are teammates. The other is the owner. Secret squirrel's bad for business.
And think about it like this, right? I think even Helen Keller could get the gist that Rodgers basically, if he wasn't the person behind the Salah firing, he at least signed off on it. I mean, they kind of let it slip that Woody spoke to Rodgers the night before Salah got fired. Do not tell me that he said, I'm going to fire the coach, and Aaron Rodgers said, no, don't do that. And Woody Johnson said, okay, Aaron, I'll listen to, and he wouldn't be fired. Rodgers had to sign off on it. I wouldn't even be surprised if he initiated it. And I think the one big thing is that you saw after the loss against Arizona, that seemed seems to be a little bit of a disconnect, mainly with the defense. And I think Quincy Williams was taking shots at somebody after the game and about preparedness. And then he
Yep.
had a kind of a cryptic tweet on Instagram.
Well, Vince, did you think that was towards? Because I noticed that too, and I thought, do you think that was towards Rodgers?
I think it's 100% towards Rodgers. Don't forget is that a lot of these guys on defense, no matter what we feel about Robert Saleh, and I don't feel the best on him as well, a lot of these guys on defense, including Quincy Williams, basically had their entire life changed under this system. Bryce Huff did. Quincy Williams went from a free agent, waiver claim to getting an All-Pro and a big contract. And now, as everybody knows, over the last 4 to 5 weeks, it's the defense that's basically been suffering. So a lot of these guys, some of which are free agents, DJ Reed, Sherwood, etc., are playing at a lower level under this new system without Saleh. And then a lot of the attention and the blame is also becoming on the defense as well. So don't be surprised if these defensive guys have a thing towards Rodgers because they feel that he was one of the reasons why Saleh was fired, and the defense is the one that's taking the real turn and it's making them all look bad.
I mean,
I
that's a good
believe.
point.
I get what he's saying. I promise you, I do. But you're still a fucking loser. You're losers. I don't give a fuck how good the defense is. I don't give a fuck about somebody being mad about the situation. Whatever happened, happened. They should have played better. The defense is trash. The team is trash. So for them to damn sit up there and be feeling some type of way because somebody got fired, well, fucking do something about it. They haven't done nothing all fucking year. They let people run down their fucking throat when Robert was there. So I get all that, but I don't give a fuck how good the defense is. You're still a fucking loser. You're a loser, and that's just what it is. I don't care about their feelings at this point. I don't care about.
I agree 100%. This is the last thing I got to say before I got to drop down. I agree 100% about that point. The only thing I will say is that defensively, yes, they need to play better. It doesn't matter what coach is there. If you miss 20 tackles, that's on the players, and I 100% agree with that. The only thing is schematically and putting people in the right places to succeed. That's on coaching. That's on defensive calls. That's on game planning. That's the only thing I would say as a response to that. I agree. Guys just need to play better flat out. Sauce Gardner needs to tackle. He needs to, not have handsy penalties. 20 tackles in a missed football game where you apparently worked on tackling all week is ridiculous. But I do think that, these players, you saw it after the game, with Quincy and with Sauce, they do get emotional, especially when the pressure's been down. That defense hasn't had, public scrutiny in 3 years. Quincy's been there. Sauce has been there. The defense has always been the bread and butter of the team. They were top. Whatever DJ Reed called them that they weren't last year, the offense sucking for years has taken a lot of heat off that defense because of how good they were. And for the first time in a lot of these guys' tenures with the Jets, they're getting the brunt of a lot of the pushback. And some of the guys, it's a new adjustment for them.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe the Jets are having a freaking tackling practice, 15-minute session. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Did anybody hear? I saw Evan Roberts yesterday. Said there's a path for the Jets to still make it. I mean, come on. Does anybody think that, there's no way. There's no way. Thanks, Lee.
I tell you what, it'd be a miracle. It would be a miracle at this point, Petey. No offense.
Well, I guess he's saying that they're going to go 8-9. I mean 9-8. That's what I
Wait,
think he was saying.
they're having a tackling practice.
Well, they're having
Yes.
yeah. They're going to work. They're practicing with pads on, like full practice with all pads,
And that is why you tear it down. That's why.
That's on
Tear it
Albrecht.
down.
I'm sorry, a better coach, the Jets would be in a better position right now.
But
I don't
but
care what
Pete,
anybody says.
no, Pete, I agree with you, but you don't have a better coach, and because Rodgers is coming back, you won't get a better coach. Tear it down.
But if you eat all this money, then I don't know, man. It is inevitable. They're going to have to do it
Right.
at some point. But what if they get lucky next year and make the playoffs? Then they
You
learn
put,
about
hey,
winning.
hey, hey,
Go ahead.
Pete, All my years being a Jet fan, you do not put luck and Jet in the same fucking sentence.
But I'm just saying, it's got to end at some point.
It won't end until Joe Namath is dead.
Well, I'm not going that route.
Man, listen, PD, you make if you make the playoffs next year, guess what? The following season, you still tear it down. You got to do
They're
it.
not making the playoffs next year.
So did anybody? Okay, we could already say that, Lee Sean.
But if the chips fall correctly, you could possibly.
Yeah, I am definitely not. Well, I'm just happy. I'm not saying this like to listen. Everybody on this app is wrong with takes. I'm just happy I didn't pick. I was no way picking the Jets to win the division this year. No way.
I did.
I mean, good for you. I just wasn't.
Did you feel like they had a decent chance so early on,
Yes,
Petey?
yes, I did. I thought they would, be around 10-7, and then I convinced maybe 11-6, maybe. I was on the fence. Then, then all this other shit happened. CB, jump in, man.
Yeah, PD, I wanted to ask real quick to Jarek, why do you still need to tear it down next year if you make the playoffs? Like, even if we sneak in at 9-8, I mean, you acquired some good talent, correct? I mean, you could tear down the coaching staff, you could say that, but what does tear it down mean at that point?
I mean, when we made the playoffs, when we went, well, we made the playoffs in 2017.
That's what I was going to bring up,
Yeah,
Jared.
we made the playoffs, and then the following year we tore it down because we had to trade to get the quarterback, which was Josh Allen. We got a young additional piece in Tremaine Edmonds, like that, like 28. We got Teron Johnson in the third round. I don't think we didn't spend any huge money.
Before you go any further, Jarek, I want to be clear. What does tear it down mean? Are you saying get rid of the coaching staff? Get rid of what?
Oh,
what are we getting rid of?
You gotta, yes, you have to get the coaching staff. You got to get the right coach. You got to get the right general manager. They have to have continuity. If they don't have any chemistry together, it's over. You got to
But
have.
Jarek, the coaching's going to be here next year because they're getting so. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, if
Okay.
if whoever agrees, now, Jarek, I'm sorry, I want you to finish here.
No, go ahead.
But
Go ahead.
so Rogers announced he's coming back. So the coach is going to have to agree. Like, whoever takes the job knows that the baggage is coming with it. So what if they do make it? Then what do you do after that? You tear down the roster after that?
Well, you got to get the quarterback, Petey. You gotta have the franchise quarterback. Because is Rogers going to come back for that for an additional contract, and now you have to worry about him at 43? You got to get the quarterback, and to get the quarterback, if you make the playoffs, you're going to have to trade up and trade away valuable assets to get that franchise quarterback.
Yep.
You can't get another bridge. You cannot get another bridge quarterback.
That's fine.
And think that's just you're going to stabilize it. You have to get that franchise guy in there. And that's why I kind of compare our team to when we made the playoffs at 9-7, even though we were supposed to tank that year. We went 9-7, and the next year we tanked to get, the next year, we traded away valuable assets to get Allen. So that's why I think that's what I'm kind of assessing.
And you got the Josh Allen thing right, Jarek, to be fair. By the way, real quick, John Gruden, thanks, Floki, for sending this. Former Buccaneers and Raiders head coach John Gruden has signed a multi-year deal with Barstool Sports.
So good for him.
I guess you take him out of the equation. I never thought Gruden would come here anyway.
John Gruden I don't see how that would stop him from taking a head coaching job.
Why? Can he still have a contract with Barstool?
He has to have an out to where if I'm going to become one of the 32 head coaches in the NFL, you're going to let me out of this contract. If I'm Gruden, that's not stopping me from taking a job.
But Buckeye brought up a point yesterday, Lee Sean, like all the shit that Gruden said. Do you think that's going to go over well?
I don't think he gets a job. No,
right.
Not at all.
Right.
I'm just saying. I don't think that contract with Barstool will prevent him. But I think more along the bullshit that got him thrown out will stop him from being another head coach.
At least, Sean, on top of that, he's suing the league too, isn't he?
I'm not
Yes, sir.
sure, but
Yeah,
if
yeah.
he's still in
So,
the league, he won't be a head coach.
so that's what I'm saying. Like not like
He said that.
I really wanted him anyway. His drafting is fucking horrible.
Well, he
let me
said that
let me
racist
ask
shit, and
y'all a
then
question.
somebody narked him out. You know what I mean?
Two things in regards to the Bills. They tore the roster down. Obviously, Sean McDermott and Brandon Bean was the head coach and GM, so we didn't, have an upheaval in the front office. But they tore the roster down because we backdoored into the playoffs in 2017. They knew that roster wasn't good enough, so they didn't get caught up in, oh, we finally ended the playoff drought. They realized they backdoored in the roster wasn't all that good, so they had to redo the damn roster. So that's a different situation. But I also wanted to mention Aaron Rodgers is getting ready to turn 41 years old in another month. You guys have to realize this man is gonna hit a brick wall and like not be good anymore. Like every season you bring this guy back, like you're running a chance of him hitting the damn wall in week 5 and you just being screwed at the quarterback position. Like I don't know, man. I wouldn't bring him back. I'm sorry, man. I don't know like what the cap ramifications are. I guess if he, I don't know. I guess I don't know. Yeah, y'all tied into that, but I
I'm
wouldn't
looking
try.
at it now, Lee Sean. Here, hear me out. Uh, all right. Rogers cap number next year is 23.5 million, but if they cut him pre-June, it's 49 million in dead money. So he's got to play enough. But Lee Sean, to be fair, and listen, you thought the Jets were making the playoffs too, and I know next year you ain't picking them. But
I did.
I'm right. I'm saying you even thought with Rodgers, Lee Sean, like, oh shit, the Jets got Rodgers. They're going to be a force with that defense. And it just didn't work.
That's correct,
Everything.
and this is 2 years in a row of it not working.
Yep. Now, if Rodgers plays in 2026, his cap number goes up to 63 million. So if they cut him, he's got to play next year. Unless you just cut the
Yeah, I
ties.
don't.
And there are Jet fans that want to just, like June, that just would rather eat all the money next year.
This
Pull
team.
the band-aid off, Petey. Stop with the band. Pull this shit off, man. You just gonna, sometimes you just, if Denver could do the same shit basically with fucking with Russell, and that's way more money. Like, do it. Just do it. Get it over with, bro. I mean, because by you bringing them back, that's limiting your selection of head coaches. Because ain't no one, like I said, tier one coaches gonna be like, get the fuck out of here. Well, I gotta take Rodgers. No, I'm not taking this fucking job. They're not gonna do it.
PD, it doesn't happen often, but I agree with June.
Oh shit! Hello, hello, hello.
This is wild. Charles, go ahead. Good morning. Charles,
Morning,
go ahead.
guys. Yeah.
What's up?
Good morning, Pete. Yeah, as
Yes.
far as like Rogers being there next year, et cetera, there are some coaches that'll have no issues with that. If it was a Vrabel or a Gruden, they would have no problems with a vet quarterback for a year before they continue searching for the long term solution at that position. Someone like Johnson from Detroit, I think he has a problem with it. So my point is, depending on where they go with the coach, I think goes a long way towards whether or not he's welcome next year. Although the owner's going to ultimately decide that, I
So,
think.
Charles, you don't think that? All right, because I do not agree with June that he doesn't think nobody wants to come here. So you think that a Vrabel would come here with a Rodgers?
Yeah, I don't think something like a veteran quarterback like Rodgers scares a coach who's sure of himself and doesn't really, who doesn't isn't in love with the specific circumstance. Someone like Vrabel, he had Tannehill. Tannehill wasn't a young buck when he got him, and I think someone like Gruden, who had Gannon and was it Brad Johnson with Tampa, not young quarterbacks. I don't think that scares guys like that, but I think it does scare others.
Now, Charles, let me say this real quick. Now, It will be one thing if Vrabel had no options. He will have the Cincinnati job as an option. He will have the Cowboys as an option. He will have the Giants as an option. Like
But
we're low on the
you
totem poles.
you
So
see, but
now,
with Vrabel, June, I think what people aren't factoring in with Vrabel went through a hiring cycle and nobody hired him. So I'm not saying he's not a good candidate, and I'm not saying that he won't be a head coach this year. But I don't think he's as hot a commodity as people think he is, based on the fact that you had a hiring cycle and he didn't get a job. And there's a lot of whispers that he's hard to deal with and all this bullshit. I don't think he's the guy next year. I think it's Ben Johnson is the guy next year. And after that, we could debate what the list is. I think Johnson's the number one candidate for a lot of teams.
no, look,
Yeah, that
I agree with
that's fair.
I agree with you with Johnson being the number one coordinator on people. Once again, I think the Jets are low on the list of good jobs to take. I just do, and then on top of that, once again, you're forcing Rodgers down whoever takes the job throat. That's not.
Yes, but everybody knows that's short term, though, right? Just inherently, if it's Rodgers, it's not more than a year, two max. And if you get the right
Yeah,
guy who's coaching, who wants to
I,
draft a quarterback or develop one, that's his placeholder.
Now, now, now,
I,
now,
I
now,
think
wait, hold on one second. This right here is what sells me what tells me that he wouldn't take the Jet job. This will be his second opportunity, basically his last. So,
who's
with
that?
this being your last opportunity,
Vrabel.
why would you go with this team that shows dysfunction every year? And then on top of that, you're being forced a quarterback whose narrative is
Well,
he controls the team. It doesn't make any
June,
sense.
can I elaborate on
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
real
Go ahead,
quick?
go ahead.
No, I think. Listen, I'm not saying I want Rodgers back or not, but I guess when you're coming in as a head coach, whatever coach it is, you want some stability at the quarterback. I mean, he gives you a little bit of stability, a little bit of knowledge of what you're gonna have going forward. Um, Unlike a guy like Tyrod or some type of journeyman, listen. I'm not, like I said before, I'm not pro Rogers bring back. I don't know what I really want at this point, but it just gives you some stability at the quarterback position and reassurance as a head coach. I mean, whether we like it or not, he's not Aaron Rodgers of the old, but he's still got a little something left in the tank.
Look. No, no, no. We know that part that he do. As of right now, he still has a little something. But like Lee Sean said, I mean, it's father time. So we're playing with house money as of right now, and we don't know when it's gonna happen. But on top of that, even if you're mediocre next year, that fucks up your chance to get a good quarterback.
Yeah, but why would Vrabel want to come here with no quarterback situation? Why would or anybody if that matters?
That's my question. So now we're looking at
But I'm saying you have Rodgers. At least it gives you a year of stability to figure it out for the following year.
That
if I
is
was
true.
Vrabel. Wait. If I was Vrabel, why wouldn't I take the Cincinnati job? I got Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
Because Cincinnati
But
has
like we.
Oh,
put this
I'm
organization
not
on the
talking
yeah,
planet.
about Vrabel.
June. Hold
I'm
on.
not talking
Well,
about Vrabel in
we don't
general.
know
I'm just
if
saying
Zach Taylor's
people.
getting fired though.
Well,
We don't
no,
know that.
but there, people are saying this job isn't going to be attractive in general because Rodgers is here. But that's not true. I don't think. I think that gives you some stability, if anything.
And I love you as a Jet fan. To sit here and think that this job will be appealing, we're just
Like
we're
So
just
you
fooling
June.
you
So
you might
ourselves.
June,
have.
To say that it's not,
You,
but
what's
to
the
say
most
that it's not
appealing factor,
appealing.
yeah,
June, with these
yeah.
guys?
So
What's
wait,
the most
Charles
appealing
is
factor?
Is Jacksonville appealing to Charles? No.
No,
What? And
No,
you have Trevor. I'm just June. I'm just saying. I don't think it's the
mhm.
worst job available. I don't.
it's the money,
Especially
guys. The money
right.
matters. The money matters.
That
Okay. Look, I'm going on record. The Jets will have either a bottom second tier, or a top third tier quarterback. I mean, coach. I'm sorry, it's just not gonna happen. It's not. The
All right.
whole narrative around this team is dysfunction and owner. Dysfunction and owner. And every year we show it no matter who we get. Why the hell would a coach with his last chance to be a head coach take this job over Dallas or over Giants, over since like
Well,
it doesn't make over
but what?
Cleveland? Why?
All right, I get it. But
But
Ben
don't you have a
Johnson,
better chance? But don't you have
go
a
ahead.
better chance to win if you had like if Vrabel came here, say they want to start Tyrod Taylor. I mean, wouldn't you want Rodgers over
But you
Tyrod Taylor
can't.
to play?
But see that's the point, Ant. If Rodgers says he's coming back, you have to start him. You have to play
Oh
him.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I'd rather that option than roll with Tyrod. That's what I'm saying.
No, no, I mean, look, I'd rather I'd rather just rip the Band-Aid off, man. You're gonna have to do it anyway, man. And it's already bad blood brewing in the locker room with like what PD said. I mean, the defense is there are some members of the defense who are now taking shots at Rodgers. You want to go in the next season with that shit? I'm not like no,
But
I
June,
don't.
it's happened.
I
If
don't.
the guy's coming back, and listen, I want to get to the hands real quick. The, I agree with Charles here. The money, if Woody Johnson opens up his pockets, which he does, he doesn't have a problem. And
He don't.
he may say, you know what, I'm going to London. I'm 78 years old. It's got to change. Maybe, I just throw the money. I got enough anyway. Here you go. Here's $15 million. Go ahead. Go coach the team and change it. He may
But
do that.
once again, PD, what's to stop the next team from giving him 15? They know he's a
That
good coach.
June, I agree. Look at what CB said, and then I don't know who the hands are next. Beyond, go ahead. Beyond. Look at Jags, Panthers, Browns, Giants, Cowboys, Saints, and Raiders.
Yeah, yeah, and all of the who wouldn't want to coach the Raiders? You know what I'm saying? Is
But
we
the Raiders are always in dysfunction. June.
But the coach can choose the quarterback. He can choose the quarterback
right?
this year if he
He
wants
can
to.
do what he want to do.
Well, to be fair on that point, I mean nobody wants to coach the Raiders. I mean, they got the highest right at the time, right? Everybody wanted Josh McDaniels, right?
Yep, and he
I mean, they
failed.
got yeah, he failed, but I'm saying everybody said, "Oh, no way, he's going there, this and that." I mean, they got the guy they wanted. I
The
mean, it
Raiders
ended up
aren't
being the right
firing that coach
decision.
already.
Yeah, I was gonna say
They
I
just
don't
gave him
think
a
they.
contract.
I know. I don't know if they'll move on from
Hey,
Pierce right away.
Jim, they gave Josh a contract. They just gave him when they fired him too. So I mean,
I don't
the-
think they're gonna fire him unless Brady comes in.
Jim, we lost you. Brian, go ahead. Beyond. Go
Good
ahead.
morning, gentlemen. How you
what's
doing?
up, Beyond?
A long time. Have you been?
Good. It's
Good.
early out west.
Yeah, it is, man. I'm up nice and early, but I
We
think.
can't hear him.
Can you
I
guys
can
hear me?
hear. I can hear him.
Oh
You
June.
shit, I
got it.
got dropped.
I
All
can
You
right.
hear
want me?
him.
Do you want me to drop? Do you want me to
No,
drop?
let June
Okay.
because
June can drop and don't come back.
yeah.
What's up,
Lee
Lisa?
Sean.
What's up,
Yeah,
I
brother?
Lee Sean. Drop
I
the
got bones to
comments,
pick
Lee
with
What's up,
June.
Sean.
Jarek?
Hang
But
on, Jim. Go
What's up,
ahead.
Beyond?
Beyond.
what's up?
What's up, Beyond?
Um, what's up, man? Hey, PD, I'll tell you what. I hear all this talk about coaches and quarterback. I'm gonna tie this into a Buffalo team, and it's not the Bills. Okay, it's the Sabres. I know it's a
Oh
different
God.
sport. Okay, now I know it's a different sport, but the Sabres and Jets both have the same affliction. They have 13 years without the playoffs, longest in North America. Now, where are the comparisons? Right, both have talent. Okay, I know it's a different sport, but they say, hey, let's get an old coach named Lindy Ruff. Let's put a band-aid on it. It's gonna work. Still not working. Okay, so where's the real problem? Okay, my question to the Jet fans is, and this has to be, in my opinion, the number one question you got to answer: is Joe Douglas the guy you want to pick the next quarterback
No,
and the next coach? And is there, like, I think the Sabres' problem is that they need someone at the top to change the culture downward, right? And I think and I still think New York is an attractive job. By the way, I don't agree that that's
Beyond, I
not
think I think
attractive
Terry
job.
Pagula's I think he's the problem.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
the
he's the
thing, and,
problem.
and and we're seeing it with the Jets. Like, to me, if I'm a Jet fan, I got to ask myself: is Joe Douglas going to keep his job? Is he the guy you want to keep? I don't care about Aaron Rodgers right now because he's not going to be there more than a year, right? Like putting Mike Vrabel there with the same dysfunction at the top of the Jets organization. I don't know if that's going to fix everything. They got to fix it from there first. You got to figure it out, and then it'll
They got to
filter its
get
way
the right
down.
comment. They got to get the
Yeah.
right combo in, Brian. That's what they got
Yes.
to do.
Yes.
So
Yes. Now, do you,
they got to hit it. It doesn't sound right. They got to hit it 2 times. They got to get
yeah.
the coach and
Yeah.
the GM right.
Yeah. Now, do you think? I mean, Douglas, you think do you
I think
want him to come back?
no, he's gone. He's gone. I think
Yeah.
there is
Yeah.
some Jeff fans, and listen, if that's how they feel, I
Mhm.
mean, I'm not going to make fun of them and mock them, but
Yeah.
I just think there's some people that just still give Douglas the high praise for getting Sauce Gardner and all these guys.
I mean,
But
he
it's
was off to a
over.
good start, right? I mean, he was off to a good start, but then you're ultimately judged on the quarterback, right? I mean, if Brandon Beam missed on Josh Allen, all the good things he did, he wouldn't be the GM of the Buffalo Bills right now.
Well, right. I mean,
That's
did
just the unfortunate way it
real
goes in that
Brian, real
business.
quick, because I just want to move everybody, because of
Sure,
the
sure.
combo. Do you think
Yeah.
Chris Greer should get fired as the Dolphins GM?
Hell yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
but then you're keeping the coach if you don't fire McDaniel.
No,
So
you
there's
don't.
still this. But
McDaniel's gone.
so
He
you
out of
think
there.
McDaniel's going to get fired too this year?
I don't think
Yep.
McDaniel should be fired, but
I think he gone.
But you think Chris Greer should get fired?
I think they
Absolutely.
both should go.
Chris Greer
Get
should
new
have been
regime.
fired.
Yeah,
Uh,
Chris, like they have no, like their like the roster you see now is their roster for next year. They are screwed. They have no money going into
None.
going into next season. And McDaniel was brought in there to help Tua. He was brought in there to kind of help and to elevate Tua's game. And McDaniel's has shown, and we've heard this from Dolphins fans, he has shown no, he hasn't improved. He has not improved as a coach, as a
yeah.
head coach.
Wait, real
That's Chris
quick,
Greer's
guys.
guy.
Good point. And guys, I appreciate you guys. The talk every day. We're back on YouTube live. We weren't up for a couple of days. Check it out on YouTube. Appreciate all the people in here. Jim, I want to get to you, and then Charles.
What's up? Good morning, everybody.
What's up, MF?
You don't even sound the same. Go
I
ahead. What
know.
up, Jim?
June, you've been pissing me off for weeks. You fucking Debbie Downer fuck.
Hey, yo, look, I'm just
No,
being a realist right now,
fuck
Jim.
that. You are
Yo,
fucking
I took the
Debbie
goggles
Downing
off.
to the
I took the
fucking 10th
goggles
degree,
off.
bro.
But bro, who's gonna want to take this fucking job?
I'm gonna fucking tell you. Let me throw this
Tell me
out.
who.
Ready?
I want to hear this.
We have Vrabel, Flores, Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson, Cliff Kingsbury.
Ben Johnson will never. Ben
No,
Johnson
wait a
Nah,
wouldn't touch
second.
Ben.
this
Wait a
job.
second. You
Wait,
fucking Debbie Downer.
June. Just let Jim will have the epic rant today. Okay, go ahead, Jim.
So those are 5 guys, right?
Hold on. Somebody in the listener section count how
Because you
many F
fucking
bombs
know,
Jim
you fuck.
drops.
You're killing me for 2
That's
weeks
2
with this
already.
shit.
Go
So those are 5 guys, right?
ahead.
Oh, let me throw in Stefanski too, just to say he gets fired. And
That's
so that's 6 coaches, right? If any one of those guys take the Jets job, is that good?
Jim.
No, wait, you fuck.
Yeah.
Just answer. Is that an upgrade if we get one of those 6 guys?
Yes.
Okay. Is that a feasible? Could that happen, or is that all 6 of those guys gonna say no? Fuck off.
I don't think. Well, out of those 6, I think 3 of those are logical. One of them I don't think is logical because I don't see Woody going against his peers and hiring Flores. Aaron Glenn, yes.
Okay.
Stefanski, yes. If fired, I could see him. So those are the 2 right there. I could see
Would you
those
be
2.
happy with that?
Yeah, I would be happy with them. Yeah,
All
I
right.
would. I
Now
would.
let's throw in all of college football. Now I don't watch college, but a college guy is going to jump from from college to the NFL if they
It's
get an
always one.
interview,
It's always
right?
one. It's always one.
There's always one. So there's another candidate. Would you be happy with that?
Once again, let me say this. Let me say this right now, Jim.
Go ahead.
I don't see a college guy who's getting paid because college coaches get paid Why would they? And college coaches, they keep their jobs for forever. So why would you sit there and leave your
Well,
secure?
if you take an interview, June, that means you want to leave. If you
Imagine Aaron Rodgers with a college coach.
Yeah,
Well,
like
Aaron Rodgers, listen, they appeased Aaron Rodgers enough. So Aaron Rodgers ain't gonna say shit. And if he says shit, he can walk out the door. But
now
if
wait, Jim, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
And this is logical. Do you not think that Woody is going to give Rodgers the okay to sign off on the next coach?
I don't know about that.
I'm
I don't know
I'm
about
trying
that.
to tell y'all
I think they
if
did
y'all go after a
I
college
think they
coach,
did plenty for him. And again, he'll have his say in fucking plays and shit. But you know, Rodgers ain't gonna be here forever. So
I
you
don't
can't
think they're going the college route,
yeah,
Jim, to
if
be fair.
No, I'm just listen. I'm just saying you have all of college to choose
yeah,
from. If there are a couple college coaches that you bring in for an interview and they say, "Yeah, I'll interview," but June. So if you have one of those two guys that is an upgrade of what we got, why the fuck are you so negative, bro?
Bro,
if
listen,
they're
man.
going if they
Come
Look,
on now.
if they're taking the
look,
college route, I'm telling you,
look.
Lincoln
And
Riley's gonna be the
and
first choice.
and wait, hold on here. Let me just make a point, June. June, to say that this is not an attractive job. Aaron Glenn's going to
It's
be one
not.
of the, but Aaron Glenn's one of the most. He's got a Super Bowl caliber team in Detroit. He's a former Jet. Why wouldn't he take this job?
Hey, Petey, I said out of Glenn and Stefanski, yes, I can see them. No question, I can see them too. I can see either
And
or.
Woody will pay Vrabel. Woody will pay Vrabel if he wanted 10 to 15. Woody will shell out that money.
All right,
He
Jim, real
he
quick.
would he would, but why would I take this job over Cincinnati or
Oh
But
fuck you, June.
Cincinnati, June,
June, you're
if they
killing
make
me.
if Cincinnati, June, hold on here, June.
he's still,
I'm waiting to isolate with you at the right time.
I can't
June,
wait.
if
God.
Cincinnati makes the playoffs, they're not getting rid of Zach Taylor.
Cincinnati is not making no playoffs, man.
They're still in it, June.
Technically speaking, we're still in it too, but are
Oh,
we making a
please.
playoff? No.
Charles, go ahead. Jump in, Charles.
Yeah,
Charles D and then Charles Jeff alike.
I heard
couple of
that,
quick
Leishan.
points.
That was rude.
He's an asshole.
Couple of quick points. One is there's no scenario where Joe Douglas is going to return. So any talk of that, I don't
Right,
see any pathway where he's coming back, and that's a good thing because he's failed.
right.
Okay. Second thing, when we talk about is would this coach improve us? That the Lou Holtz would make us better, for Christ's sake. So any
Facts.
coach that comes in makes us better. But the one guy I'm telling you that uh, I think is the favorite. It's been talked about, but the huge favorite to get this job is, and hear me out, and I'm not saying I want him, okay, is Gruden. And the reason I say it's Gruden is because a guy like Gruden would have no problem coaching a veteran like Aaron Rodgers for a year or so. That would mean nothing to him. And that's a guy who doesn't have a clear pathway back to a specific team. He's one of those guys that's kind of in some circles thought of very highly, but he's not someone that the masses are going to clamor for, and he's done the job before. He's going to pick a GM because he's been around forever. So he obviously knows people in the league. And
That would
I honestly think he's the favorite. I'm not saying I want him first, but he's the favorite.
Charles, he
that will
just
be a
signed a
terrible
contract.
hire. I
He
am
just
sorry.
signed a
What?
contract
Woody?
with
That
Barstool. Not that matters. He could get out of it. Lee
Oh,
Sean
come
pointed
on.
that
Do you
out.
think
that would
he's
be
not coming
horrible.
back because of a Barstool contract, Pete?
No, but do you think he's going to get interviews?
There's no question he's going to get interviews.
What
Now,
was
now,
the
now, now, now,
story
now, now,
behind why Gruden was fired again? Can someone like
Yeah, Charles. First of all, he's suing the league, so I don't see. Once again,
But then you take Flores out with that
Right,
logic, don't
no,
you?
no, and that's what I said before. I said that I want Flores, but I don't think that Woody's gonna go against his peers and hire him. But Gruden would be a straight fucking disaster, and to let him
Yeah,
choose a
I'm
GM.
not saying he wouldn't be. I'm just
Woo.
saying that
he
that's the type of guy that you're going to get.
he got Mike Mayock, an
All right.
NFL fucking NFL mock
Yeah,
draft analyst.
Gruden
He's
is
he's gonna do
wild.
Yeah.
this.
Well, all right, guys. I do not want to do this, but I just muted June. And this is June. You hear me out. You went from freaking 13-4, 12-5. We're gonna beat everybody. We're gonna stomp the Bills. We're gonna do this and do that. And now you want to tear everything down. Nobody wants to come here. And this is not an act, June. I'm trying not to laugh because it's hysterical. You went from all the way up. I'm all the way up to now you don't even think we can get anybody. God
It,
damn!
it's a
What the
fact,
hell is
Pete.
this coming from?
Pete, it's a fact. I took the green goggles off. I stopped drinking the green Kool-Aid.
June,
I'm now looking at the Jets as if they're just another team. I'm looking
fucking Jim
around them.
is
I'm looking
right.
at the history. I'm watching what the owner has done. I'm looking what the last coaches have been. It's not an attractive destination. It's not. It's just not. And
So
then
wait,
you
wait.
and
So
then you
how could
throw
you?
in and look, I'm the owner, I'm gonna hire a good coach, and then I'm telling him, oh yeah, you're stuck with Aaron Rodgers this year. He gotta play. No fucking way. Any coach with options is not taking this shit.
Oh God, June, man.
They're just not.
June, but you're making it seem like this is that bad. I don't think
No,
it's
no,
as
no, no,
bad
no,
as you think.
no. Hear what I'm saying. What I'm saying, maybe it's not that bad, but there are other destinations that are more appealing than this one. Is what I'm
Okay.
saying.
I think the Bengals. All right, and that's my little rant. Okay. There's more coming. By the way.
I'm ready for it. It don't matter. I've been using this shit for the
John,
past two
John,
Jet
John,
weeks.
for
listen,
life. Go
listen,
ahead,
listen,
man.
John,
Please help
John,
here.
listen now. You're going off the merit of okay, we've been dysfunctional for so many odd years. What losing team is dysfunctional? You understand what I'm saying? Like what team that's winning is functional? Like just running on all pistons and just doing everything the right way. None of them. So that merit that we're dysfunctional, it doesn't go far. That's why you're hiring a coach and a new GM to fix that. So I don't think
Yep.
this is not the destination that no one wants to come. I think you have good pieces. You just need stability. That's
And you
what you
need a
need.
coach.
And Petey, in turn, that's what a coach and a GM does. It
Charles, you
brings
know what song
stability.
I want to play for June right now? That song. Hold it now.
Wait, listen. First of all, fresh off for in-season firing, you're gonna come to this job with an owner that meddles,
He does not listen. I,
being
I don't I
forced.
don't go off that,
Wait,
June. I don't go off. He had to.
wait. No. I understand he had to, but what he should have did was fire him before the season even started. So there you
Now I
go.
won't I won't I won't go off. I won't fight with you on that. He did it the wrong way. But
Okay.
I can tell you that Woody. I didn't hear too much from fucking Woody until he had to do it.
What-
Until he had to, and
he-
that was him. I was saying I was on the merit at the beginning of the season. Okay, Joe fixed the roster somewhat. Let's see what Robert is going to do, and he didn't do it, and he fired him, and it just is what it is. And Joe as well. I told you, Joe didn't build this roster like he was supposed to. He didn't. He made a glass house. So
Okay.
now you're going to bring in a coach. Okay, yeah, Rogers is going to be here. Okay, I think Rogers, and I told you this yesterday. I think Rogers bit off more than he can chew, literally. I think he wanted to do it my way on some Frank Sinatra shit, and it didn't work like he thought it would. It was too much. So now I think he's in the mindset, okay, I need to just play quarterback and stay in my lane. Not saying he's going to stay all the way in his lane because he's Aaron Rodgers, but I think he will fall back a little bit to where he can't handle all that on his plate. So bring in a coach that's going to coach. Okay, you got Aaron Rodgers. You're going to take this roster, run it back. You're going to fill in a couple of pieces, your safety, your offensive line, your D line. You're gonna put some pieces in there, and you're gonna run it back. And then if it doesn't work, you get a fresh start the season after. And then you build this team how you want and see how it works. I don't get why a coach wouldn't like that. I don't understand why they wouldn't like that. To come with some good pieces and say, okay, let's see what you can do with it. Can you maximize the talent? And then okay, if it doesn't work, you get to draft who you want. You get to put who you want in the place and go from there. That's what I think is going to happen. It's just it gets complicated because you don't know what coaches are going to take this job, what their mindset is. Is it too big of a job to handle? It's just complicated, and I can't go that far to say who we will hire and who we will not. So
Oh,
that's where we at. But I don't think we're in the fucking. I'm like what Petey said. You too damn drastic, June. You go
listen,
from left to
listen,
fucking right.
listen.
Ain't no in between with your ass.
I'm
You tear it
I'm
all
will,
down. Get
I'm
rid of
willing
Sauce. Get
I'm
rid
willing
of
to
Garrett.
bet I'm willing to bet anyone that wants to bet that the Jets end up hiring a bottom tier 2 or a high tier 3 coach.
And guess
That's
what,
what's going to
dude? Guess
coach.
what? Guess what? I'm like, give me a little bit of time, but I'm almost wanting to bet you this shit because
I'm
you've been betting these Bills fans for the fucking longest, and you've been fucking losing.
well I lost you know what you know why I lost? You know why I lost? Thinking of this fucking team. That's why. Maybe I need a fucking rant too. This is bullshit.
See, so
I've been a
and this is
fan for
why
40 fucking
look,
years watching this
I
bullshit
got you,
ass team
and,
do the
and I've
same
been for
shit
3 decades,
year after
so that's
fucking
4 decades.
year.
hmm I
He
get it, and that's why
meddles.
look, you
That's
need to
why
take
Tim
your
Tebow
feelings
was a
out of it.
fucking Jet.
Yeah, because of
You need to,
freaking Woody.
Right.
Because of the
This is what he
metal in there.
do.
I agree with that. That
This
I
is what he
agree with.
does. He does it. That's the reason why Belichick and Parcells left the fucking team. They knew,
No,
and
I
nothing's
wish
gonna
Parcells
change.
never left, man. Oh,
Yeah, exactly. He left because he knew it. He knew who bought the team. Belichick left the next day because he knew who bought the
let's,
team. And it's
hey, dude,
been
let's
none
stay in
but
the present.
bullshit coaches ever since.
June pulling
Rex
in her
wasn't Rex
Petey
wasn't
here.
bullshit. Rex wasn't bullshit. He took us to two
Rex
AFC
lost
championship
everything,
games.
though.
Hey, yo,
All
can I
right,
say
he
something?
did
Yeah,
at the end.
I
yeah, and
heard
then
somebody
Charles.
say Aaron
Did you just
Rodgers
wake
should
up?
be like the person that helped with the new coach hiring, right? Like, why would y'all want that knowing that like how long y'all expect
No,
Aaron Rodgers to play? Like what y'all
kicker,
like
kicker, you heard wrong, kicker. What I said was, I asked him a question. Do he think that Aaron Rodgers will have say in the next head
all
coach?
right, my bad, my bad.
Right, right. And he will. Woody's going to give him that. Why? Aaron Rodgers gave back Woody $35 million. Why wouldn't he listen to him?
If Aaron Rodgers has say in your next coaching hire, then that's the real problem has been identified.
Exactly. But that's
So
what's going to
but
happen.
you don't. I do think that he's good. You do you think he'll be in on these meetings?
Of course he's going to be in the fucking meetings.
I don't know if he's allowed to be, but like even yesterday, Rogers was saying he thinks Brick is a head coach, whether it's here or somewhere else. Why would Rogers even say that?
Right. Yeah, and look,
Who the fuck is Brett?
Albrecht, the coach
Jeff
now,
Ulbrich.
the head coach now, the intern.
I'm not talking
All
about
right.
Brick Johnson, kid.
Yo, let's just did once again. We just have to come to terms that this is what we signed up for, which is the reason why
I
on
think
record
y'all
I
should
said
get a
I
new
didn't want
head
Aaron
coach.
Rodgers. I didn't want Aaron Rodgers
I
because when you
That's
take
what I'm
Aaron
saying.
Rodgers, you got to take everything that comes with him, and I knew that this shit was not gonna work.
I think y'all should get a new head coach, right? And I keep saying it, and just start fresh with a new quarterback. Like, let me ask y'all something, right? How would y'all feel, right, if y'all get like the the Sanders
Who?
combo? Things
I
around.
I, I I
How would
didn't.
y'all feel about that?
I would take
Dion is
Shador
not
and
come.
Dion.
Dion is not coming to. Are you kidding me? Dion is not coming to New York
But I would take June if he said he would come here. You would take him in a heartbeat. He's an
in a
icon.
heartbeat. You know, look. I wouldn't think twice about it. But once again,
Hold on, but
Dion is not
y'all missing
coming
what I
here.
said though. I said the Sanders
Of course.
combo, Shador and
Why
Dion.
wouldn't you? Of course,
Yeah,
absolutely. But
Dion's not. He's not coaching in the NFL. His,
it,
You don't think Dion would take the Dallas
Oh
job?
hell no, hell.
I
I
don't
would take
know
a
about
Jets.
that.
I think he
I
would.
might take the Jets job before Dallas.
No, I mean,
You know what I think Dion
I
might do?
I
Dion
know it
might go
sounds
to
crazy,
Florida
that's
but
State for like a
Well,
couple
that's he
years,
did
Kicker.
go
like
there.
That's
3
where I think
years,
he's
and then
gonna
he
go.
gonna go
I
to the
think
NFL.
that's where
Wait,
he ultimately wants to coach at. Because he loves recruiting. He loves the recruiting process. He's getting paid more than NFL coaches.
Facts.
Uh, like he has the bet. Like he has his own control, and
They
he's. I
offered,
mean,
hey, Jared, they offered that man a lifetime fucking contract to coach.
yeah. Like
Who the
he
fuck
owns
gets
the
offered
city
a
of Boulder.
lifetime contract? Are you kidding me?
all right. Let me get to Charles
I
real
was
quick.
just saying if you get the Shador and Dion combo,
I
that's
would do
all.
that.
But my
Kick it
bad.
one sec. Let me get to Charles. Charles, good morning. Back
Hey
at
guys,
you.
just to be clear, and I always like separate the two. What I want to happen, what I think is going to happen, is not usually the same thing with this team. So I'm
Facts.
just talking about what I think is going to happen, and I think based on what's transpired and the fact that Woody is probably going to disappear for a little while, this time around, I think he wants someone he can hand the keys to. And if that is the mindset, the two guys he can hand the keys to, whether we like it or not, of Vrabel and Gruden, those types of guys that have coached in the league before and have a resume. I think his comfort zone would be giving it to someone like that. I don't think there's a first timer this time around at all,
I hope not.
honestly.
So, Charles, you don't think, well, this is my thing, though, Charles. If they hire Aaron Glenn, then you got to get
No,
somebody like
they're
a,
not doing that, and that's why they're not going to do that. That's
okay,
too much of an that's my opinion. I think he's too much of an unknown. Not that he's not deserving. There's always diamonds in the rough, but based on this present circumstance, they're not going diamond in the rough, especially if the owner thinks that this quarterback has a year or two left. It's not going to be a first timer being paired with that. That's why I think it all points towards him giving it to somebody that's done it before this time.
fair enough. I agree. But, Charles, what I'm saying is if they do go that route, don't you think like a Doug Peterson or somebody that's been a head coach before is the offensive coordinator? You got to get somebody in here that's had experience if you take a
That's
first
a
timer.
hundred percent. But now you're further complicating things, right? You've got to get that coach, and now you've got to search for a specific offensive coordinator, and they tickled with that. Remember when they were going to hire Rule? They would say,
Yep.
"Well, your offensive coordinator has to be Monken, or it has to be this guy or that guy." Your real good OCs in this cycle are head coaching candidates.
That's fair.
Unless you unearth somebody. So now you're unearthing two people. You're going to unearth a head coach, and you need to unearth an offensive coordinator.
That's fair. That's, I mean, there's no argument there. What do you think about anybody see what Costello put that he thinks Matt Nagy? I mean, what about
That's the
him?
guy who's had the keys before, right?
Yep.
And not
Oh,
that I want him, but
not
he
fucking
falls in
Matt Nagy.
line with someone who's done the job before.
Oh,
They saying
yo,
Matt
you fucking
Nagy,
kidding
Jim, you
me,
gonna
man?
lose your
Yo,
mind,
this
huh?
because
But
you know
but
what?
June, he's a
It's gonna happen.
disciplinarian guy, isn't he, Charles? He's a
But we see
disciplinarian.
he just bottom out in fucking shit. You know, this is what I mean.
But
Like
didn't
I said,
Chicago have some
a tier
success though with
two
him?
or a tier three. This is what's gonna happen. Look,
I'm
no, no, no,
just
no, 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 no,
asking questions, June.
no, 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 no. You hear what I'm saying? Nagy is exactly what I'm talking about. Somebody like him who's looking for a second chance, who's a tier two, tier three head coach. That's what the Jets will end up with. I promise you. That's what they're gonna end up with. They're not getting a tier one coach. Not if you sitting there telling them, yo, you look, Rodgers is your quarterback. You gotta play him. No, it's not happening. So Nagy is definitely somebody that should be on the radar. Definitely.
Oh gosh.
Yep.
When the Jets make their announcement, you know, in January, June will be down in the dumps.
Yeah, yeah. Look,
June, I'm surprised you didn't
this.
comment because I put out the schedule yesterday, like the opponents, and you got people already saying that the Jets are going to lose 12 games next year without
I
even
can't.
knowing
You know why?
who's
I can't.
playing, who's
I
out
can't even
that
argue.
week.
I can't argue it
I'm
because I
just
can't.
saying.
I can't argue that point. Look, when you bring in that second tier coach, that's what's gonna happen. Shoot. We almost what damn near at 12 fucking losses right now.
I mean, it's 7. We still got a shot, according to Evan Roberts.
We got 5 more losses. What? We got to play Buffalo. We got to play Miami twice. That's 3 losses right there.
So you think we're getting swept by Miami?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I do. And believe me, I don't want to get swept by fucking Miami. I can't stand Miami, but yeah, it is just what it is. Every week there's something new. Last week we couldn't tackle.
Hey,
We,
June, we're having a practice today with pads on. How you feel about that?
this is a fucking joke. It really
I
is.
agree.
Fucking joke.
Dom came up here. Dom, what
Dom,
head
what's up,
coach?
brother?
What head coach do you want coming in?
Yeah,
If you could speak.
I need a couple minutes, guys. Sorry.
All right.
I mean, Petey, think about it. What other team keeps a kicker who misses 6 field goals in 8 weeks? Six field goals, 3 or 4 extra points, and he's still on the fucking roster.
The Ravens.
Yeah, right. Ravens would never keep nobody
Who did
like
they
that.
keep? By the way, I think we go to the bank next year, kicker. So you gotta.
Like my man Bob Barker used to say, come on
Oh
We go to
yeah.
the
down.
bank. Yeah, we're Jets are at Ravens next year.
Last time we was at the bank, we got blown out. Ain't nothing gonna change.
Kicker, can you hook?
Man. Oh yeah, that was on
Kicker, can you
yeah,
hook me up
that was
with
on a Thursday
Yes,
meeting
it
some
night.
of the
was.
players like you always do?
Yeah, I got you.
Look, I'm I'm,
But let me
I'm
man,
sorry.
look, let me tell y'all something though, right? See, if I was a Jets fan, right,
You're not, but go
I'd be
ahead.
trying to get Aaron Rodgers out of here, right? I feel like Aaron Rodgers really holding y'all back. Now, when I come in here every day and I keep talking, I really do because it's like y'all about to get a new head coach, right? He old, like I mean, like I think y'all should have just kept Robert Sala for real, like for the time
Nah,
being.
we shouldn't have kept him. He should have been fired before the season even fucking
Bro,
started.
y'all only got one win since y'all fired
He
him,
should have
They
been.
bro.
should no,
He
he
never
should
should
have
have
been
started the season.
right. He should have been fired, but the way they did it, I agree with Kicker. They should have kept Robert Sala. I agree with
Yeah,
that.
y'all should have just kept him to see how the season finish
I
out.
agree. And I wonder why Woody did it. We'll never know. We'll never know if Rogers was involved.
We gonna
Nah,
find
I don't
out.
know about that.
And once again,
I can't.
it makes Woody looks bad for him firing him in see. The Jets have a lot of things going against him. As far
You think Aaron Rodgers had something to do with that though?
he had to sign off on it. Of course, he had to sign off on it. You look, Woody already said in the press conference that they asked him, "Did you speak to Aaron before?" He said I spoke to Aaron Rodgers last night. He didn't. I didn't mention anything about firing, which is a lie. Come on, Aaron signed off on this shit. If you give a billionaire $35 million back, I'm pretty sure he's gonna sit there and out of courtesy let you know. Look, I'm thinking about firing this guy. What do you think about it? The whole time I kept saying, yo, there's some friction going on between Aaron Rodgers and Robert Saleh. Everybody thought no, nah, there was nothing. Nah, he
But
pushed him.
he ain't had shit to do with the offense though.
They was
Like,
not getting
I don't
along,
know.
bro. They was not getting along. That push that he gave him on that Thursday, what was that Thursday night game against New England? Come
Yeah.
on, he gave him the look of death. I don't want to hear about that. Oh, there's your 2 touchdown lead. That's bullshit. You're never going. What you expect him to say? Nah, fuck it. I can't stand him. He's not gonna say that.
So what you want, June? You want a new quarterback next year?
Once again, Aaron Rodgers is not the bulk of the problem that's going on right now. But at the same time, I don't want him going into the season as my starting quarterback. I say make this job appealing. Give whatever GM and
Hmm.
head coach that's coming in, give them free reign to do whatever they want to do, and tell Rodgers, listen, we appreciate what you tried to do
Well,
for us. Just stay home. We're gonna
Cause
take care of you, bro.
look, right, I mean the way how y'all looking right now, y'all probably only gonna win maybe like 2 more games. I'm just being
I
honest
don't
with
see.
y'all.
I,
Maybe a
I,
little
I
more,
see two
June
games.
doesn't
but
see it. Wait,
I see
June, you
two
know what I
games.
do see? Look at this. I just read
Yeah, but
this
the
from Ian
Jaguars don't even
O'Connor.
have a quarterback, so
I
that's a win.
Well,
I
technically
said
they
two
okay,
do.
games.
you
I see two
Hold on
games.
here, June.
uh,
Listen to this. This is from Ian O'Connor. If Aaron, if Christopher Johnson ends up running the Jets again, it seems that would improve the chances of Aaron Rodgers playing for them next year. Rodgers said in my book, "I love Chris. I really do. I feel like I'll have a lifetime friendship with him, regardless of what happens." There it is.
Uh,
yeah, regardless of what
yeah.
happened. But look, let me finish
Yeah,
what
and
I was
then Neek
saying
jump
though.
in after kicker.
So so look, right? So the way how it's looking, y'all probably maybe win about 1 or 2
Two
more
more games. It's
games,
two
if
more. It's two
that.
more games. That's two.
Oh,
That's
two
it.
more? All right, well shit. Top look, y'all gonna have like a top 10 draft pick, right? 9 times out of 10, bro, it's gonna be a lot of quarterbacks out there, right? Now you gotta look at this too, right? Aaron Rodgers. Imagine if y'all draft a quarterback. How you think he gonna feel? Especially
He
if he
has no
start being
choice
like,
though.
Yeah,
He
but
was
he's in a
Yeah,
different
when
part of
they
his
drafted
career, man.
Love,
It's like
He was what? 4 years, 5 years younger?
yeah, but not even that. Like you guys act like Rodgers is like doesn't want to like teach these guys. Look how much he teach Love, and look how good he's been.
yeah,
Did he
but what
teach him,
I'm
or
saying
did the
is
head coach teach
it's
him?
New
I
York.
think it's a little bit of both.
It's New York. Look how quick y'all gave up on Zach Wilson. Y'all know y'all gonna give up on the OG Wilson, and y'all gonna want the young boy come in. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. How you think he gonna
Zach,
feel about
Kicker
that?
Zach
did
never had a
kicker did
chance.
Lamar walk into Flacco? I don't even remember.
Yes.
You
Did
say
Lamar
what?
walk into Flacco?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, actually, I think yeah, Flacco got hurt, and then Lamar
Right.
came
That's
in, and
Right.
right.
then
It was
it
it
was
was that it
just
was
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
concussion by
Week
Kiko Alonso.
week we either week 8 or week 9 is when Lamar took over.
But I mean, Flacco wasn't happy with that though that
He
we
wasn't.
drafted
He was
Lamar.
not happy.
Yeah, but Flacco is in a feeling that he has years plural, and obviously he has. He's still in the fucking NFL, but he
I mean, yeah, and that's crazy. Look, he's still in it. That's wild. But I'm just saying though, like you know how some quarterbacks is, he might just want to be like, fuck it, I just want to get out of here. I don't know. You know how some quarterbacks is though. That's why I was just asking y'all, like, yeah, PD
Yeah, but he
saying
probably
Chris
has a year
Johnson.
left,
Well,
kicker. So what's the? I mean, why would he care? As long as he's starting that year.
but what if he start being bullshit though? It's New York. We know
Yeah,
how y'all
I'm
fans is, bro.
surprised.
Y'all gonna start
No, the
booing them.
fans are already turning, man.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
it's not nothing new. I'm surprised Rogers hasn't been more snippy yet with the media, but that's probably coming soon. Neek, jump in. Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Nick.
Um,
I think you need an isolation with June, Neek.
the thing with Christopher is actually true because he the one that got Rogers to come to the Jets. Rogers don't really fuck with Woody. Like Woody's a fan, he's a cheerleader for Rogers, but Rogers fucks with Christopher. Like everybody says Chris is like the normal one. Woody's like a fucking asshole. Like he makes everybody just I don't know. But I get what y'all saying. I don't think he's gonna have a problem with them drafting because he didn't come from the Jets. You know what I'm saying? With Green Bay, like he was drafted there. He did 18 years there, so of course he's gonna be in his feelings. Coming here, he already know. Like that, I don't even think that shit bothers him at all. As long as he get whatever time in his contract, he good with that shit. He just don't want to go out like a fucking pussy. That's what I think. Excuse my language. I mean, and I can't blame him with the legacy he got. But in terms of blowing the staff up, that was something honestly needed what a season or two ago before he even got here. So could you imagine if they had did that before he came in? Imagine what the team would be right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this whole coaching thing, they should have just restarted this year. But I don't think they wanted to ruffle feathers with Rodgers neither. and everything was set in stone. Hackett was the OC. That's his guy. And that's, ultimately it failed.
But
The
that's
Hackett
their
part is
fault
what
on
fucked
Hackett.
everything up.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's their fault on Hackett. They hired him to dangle him as a piece of meat to get Rodgers. So
But wasn't Hackett, somebody correct me, it was, 2 years ago, but wasn't Hackett at the Derek Carr when somebody spied on Douglas and them eating? Wasn't Hackett there with Derek Carr?
I don't remember that.
Like, there was a picture out there.
Yeah,
I don't
wasn't it Sala, Douglas, Woody?
no, I don't know. Somebody can find that. I think Derek Carr was there and was Hackett.
well, you
I'm
got
not sure though.
Hackett been there since December of 22, so he might have.
I
What,
mean,
with
the
the
Hackett
Jet?
hire fucked everything up because you were never going to get a real head coach to take that either. No one was
That's
going to
true.
inherit Hackett. So if you would have fired Sal in the offseason the way everyone wants, and we would have done the whole fucking like Matt Rule thing that we did with like you got to take this DC. Like that's the Jets have a history of this. You have to accept this DC, this OC. Like it's trash. It's ridiculous.
Facts.
And we're not even talking about like Steve
Well, yeah,
Spagnuolo. We're
but
talking
but
about
but
like
Buckeye, real quick. I don't think they were firing Solid a year that would hack it. So you're right. Nobody would have came here with hack. So they had to keep Salah, especially that they were on the verge of moving on from Zach that year. Correct?
yeah.
Right. So, man, it's just such a mess. I listen. I'll admit, I'll stand. I stand fully corrected. I thought Rodgers would fix all the coaching deficiencies.
I don't know.
I did.
He's only one person, and that was on us for even feeding into that. Like I think we all did it. We're all guilty of that one. Like this one man can come in and be Superman and clean up this fuck. Nah.
But Petey, a lot of people taking victory laps and citing that you took
Oh, it can
if
happen.
we took 60% of the Rodgers thing. That's fine. The same people predicted double-digit wins. Everyone, including Bills fans, were predicting double-digit wins for the Jets. So this is this victory lap thing
Yeah.
of like, I called it. No, nobody called this. Absolutely nobody called this.
And
No,
Woody,
No,
nobody.
but a lot of it had to do with coaching. And to be honest, I hate to say it. I said it yesterday. I wonder if it looks different if Salah just stayed the coach for the year.
No, you don't have to hate to say it, Ant, because this is you could say it. I
No,
believe.
because
I
I did want
Yeah,
Salah fired, but now
yes.
I'm thinking
And
like,
you were totally outlashed. And I remember the conversations. You were screaming about Salah being gone. And then
no,
you said that he deserved another shot. And
right. I
I
said
don't.
I wanted to look. I wanted
Go ahead.
the year to go through and see what happened. So the way they did it was premature. So I
I
just
think
wonder.
people. I think people forget though that London game. What were we down 17-0 before it was fucking
No,
nine
but
a.m.
listen, Buckeye. Like you can whatever hate on Salah. I mean, he always split with Buffalo. He always split with him.
Like I said, one more game. We just need one
But
more.
that's not the bar
But
of an
I think
organization.
I think they would have been better prepared for that Patriots game, to be honest.
but after
Why do we?
Why?
Why?
Well, wait. Why do you think that?
Yes,
Salah
thank you.
got one win against the Patriots.
Well, that's who
two
Belichick
last
is.
season too.
Actually, two, June. Sorry.
No.
Two.
But wasn't Salah's like
Super
mo
Bowl.
starting games unprepared and like
Yes,
getting
yeah,
like this
yeah,
happened
yeah.
all the fucking time.
No, yeah.
Kansas
Listen,
City, the
whatever.
London,
It
like
is. I'm just saying. I think the way they did it, and everybody agrees. I think they did it the wrong way.
Yeah,
He should have been
it should have been
fired,
fired before the
fired
season.
in the beginning of the year, or wait till the end of the year. That's the way it should have been done.
Charles, just jump in.
Yeah, I was going to say the only thing that I saw from this administration with the Jets that showed a clue, and they screwed it up like they do everything else, was the acknowledgement going into the season that they needed help on the offensive side as far as coaching was concerned. When they were actually trying to scramble to bring in another offensive mind, of course, that would never work with keeping someone like Hackett there. But
Yep.
the only reflection that they did properly is at some point, somebody in the room said, hey, we have nothing here as far as offensive coaching is concerned. It's a problem.
Yep. And that's why, Charles, they called Arthur Smith,
Yes.
correct?
No, they did try, but it was never going to happen. But the acknowledgement that there was a problem there
Well, no,
is something that is
nobody wanted to
unusual for
come
them.
because
Right. Nobody
they
wanted
knew the
to
writing
come.
because they knew the writing was on the wall for Salah. That was the
No,
problem.
I know why it didn't happen. My only point is that it was the only time I saw this organization like look within themselves and identify a deficiency. Of course, they didn't fix it, but at least they were aware of it.
It didn't happen because they didn't want it to happen. If they really wanted it to, they would have put their foot down and did it.
They
But who
tried.
would
All
come
right.
under those circumstances? That's
Right.
the problem.
They
Yeah,
tried Arthur
guys,
Smith and Cliff Kingsbury. Both of them said no.
yep, June, real quick. Guys, we have a guest in here, Destin Adams, who covers the Indianapolis Colts, has joined. Destin, I appreciate you joining. Uh, both the Jets and Colts are in disarray, but good morning, man. How are you?
Hey, it's a good morning. I mean, hey, I'm waking up in significantly better spirits knowing that I'm not watching Joe Flacco versus Aaron Rodgers this week.
Oh, wow. So, well, yeah, the battle of who's less mobile, huh, Destin?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Joe Flacco would win. Who's less mobile?
No, well, that's the I would take that up. Destin, why don't you so you've been covering the Colts since 2019, but why don't you tell us a little about what you do and where to find you or whatever before
Yeah,
we get into some questions?
yeah. I've been covering the Colts since 2019. I've been covering them since 2023 in a full time capacity at A to Z Sports. You can find all my stuff at a to z sports.com/Indianapolis Colts. All my coverage is there, and I also cover the NFL draft for them.
Cool, man. Awesome. So, Destin, before we get into some of the Colts stuff, let me ask you, are you completely stunned at what's going on here in New York and New Jersey from what you thought of in the off season? I've never spoken to you before, but did you have like did you were you one of the people that were picking the Jets to like have a really good season this year, or where were you at in the off season, if you don't mind taking a trip down, I guess it's memory lane?
No, you're good. I'm pretty positive I picked the Jets to win the division this year. I really liked the defense. Was really excited to kind of see what the offense would look like with Rodgers. With us obviously not getting to see it at all last season. Um, was really excited for the Garrett Wilson Rodgers connection, and I think like everyone really assumed sooner rather than later Devontae Adams was going to be a Jet. I think it took a little bit longer than some people thought for it to happen. Maybe a little bit too many losses in that column when that actually goes down, where now they're really battling from behind here. But yeah, I think both these teams had higher expectations for their seasons and are teetering because there's still time left for both sides to right these ships, but both sides are teetering towards falling off the rails here.
Okay, let's get into the matchup this weekend. You, you, what could we expect? Like from Richardson, he's been benched. Now they went back to him saying he's the full time guy. But do you think they're going to keep forward with Richardson going into next year, Destin, or it depends on how he does this year?
Yeah, I think the plan right now is to finish the season. As long as you finish the season healthy and as the starter, the Colts will have 17 full games to be able to look at, study over the offseason. And I think they'll feel a lot better about their chances of saying, do we have our franchise quarterback? Because I think going into the offseason, you have to be able to answer that question because I think not having an answer is worse than saying, no, we don't have him. Because if we're going into next season kind of forcing it again because you don't know, that just puts you behind the eight ball quite a bit. So I think that's going to be the focus here and why I was kind of anti benching him at all, because I just think there's so much at stake here for this team.
Okay, so Destin, before I get to the co-hosts here, what should I don't know who do you see has the edge in this? I can't believe the Jets are 3.5 point favorites, but In your opinion, I know you cover the Colts, but I want to hear your biased opinion. Who do you think has the edge in this matchup, if there is any edge?
I mean, it'll be interesting. I mean, a 3.5 point favorite at home. Like the rule of thumb is that you give the home team 3 points. So that means on a neutral site they have the Jets as a half-point favorite. That's probably pretty accurate. I think the Colts defense is playing significantly better than where they started this season, but Aaron Rodgers is the exact type of quarterback that Gus Bradley and this defense have struggled with over the past couple of seasons. A guy that can be a little bit more cerebral, a guy that can attack zone coverage if you give him too much time in the pocket. So it's going to be all about the Colts defensive line being able to knock Rodgers off that step. I think it is fair to have the Jets favored. The Colts have lost 3 straight. The offense has shown no rhythm. And obviously Richardson's coming back into the lineup, but he wasn't playing fantastic before the benching, obviously. So there's no reason right now to bet that the Colts turn it around right away against this Jets team.
Buckeye or June, do you have anything for Destin? Destin, thanks for joining, man. Really appreciate this, man.
June, you want to go first?
Yeah, let me I just got one real quick question. Um, Destin, thanks for joining us, bro. Let me ask you a question. Do you think part of the reason why Indianapolis chose to go with Richardson is because they looked at the video on this year of how the Jets can't, Jets have issues with scrambling quarter and mobile quarterbacks. Do you think that's part of the reason why they decided to go with him?
I think you cut out at the end there.
He's asking you, do you feel the transition back to Richardson was the mobility and that gives the Jets a problem?
I really don't think this matchup played any factor into going back to Richardson. I think it was probably a combination of a lot of things, but I really think the future aspect of knowing that they had to be able to answer the question of is he the franchise quarterback was what drove this decision. And I mean, with everything going on, this Colts team is still one game out of the AFC playoffs at 4-6. That's a testament to how poorly the AFC has played this year, obviously. But like that is a big deal to where if they believe they can right this ship, it has to start in New York this week. You get this win, you get put on track to where you can control a lot of things. The Broncos are the team ahead of you in the playoff race right now. That with that one game ahead of you, and you play them this season. So it starts in New York, and I think they made this one because they know they have to get this win to start the domino effect.
Buckeye, you want to go, or do you have anything?
Yeah. It's in line with the same thing. So obviously, the Jets fan base would have Woody Johnson, gold jacket, worst owner in football, and I think Jim Irsay is like in contention for a gold jacket. Anytime I see an organization do a narrative of like we're turning to Flacco for the season and then did an about face, you don't think Irsay had anything to do with this? Because this screams like I just feel like owners are involved when you see like about face narratives change this fast. It's not like Flacco got hurt. So what you don't think Irsay had anything to do with this?
With the benching of Richardson, or the going back to
just the whole narrative of they went out of their way to say it's Joe Flacco's job for the rest of the season. Wasn't that what they said?
Yes, I mean on Tuesday they come out and say that Joe Flacco's starting against the Jets. So things changed pretty quickly and abruptly. And I would agree that a lot of the times when things abruptly happen within an organization, usually ownership is involved. This one, I don't know. I mean, I think if I had to put my finger on it, I think it's more likely that ownership got involved with the benching of Richardson than putting him back in. But I think one of the decisions definitely had influence from that area.
Last one for me. Your GM hot seat or it's his job?
Man, I think he probably should be on the hot seat. Year 8, not a single divisional championship, one playoff win, and obviously there's been a lot of things happen in that span to the Colts and to him. But I mean, at the end of the day, you have to produce in the NFL to keep your job. So I think a lot of different teams would have moved on by now. I think Jim Irsay and Chris Ballard have a very good relationship. I think Irsay almost looks at him as like a son that he never had, which could be a problematic relationship from a boss and an employee. So I think his job might be a little bit safer than it probably should be. Um, yeah, I think the heat is nowhere near where it should be on his seat, but I think eventually you're going to have to start winning, or that decision is going to become very uncomfortable very soon.
Excellent. Thanks, Destin.
Uh,
Go to Jarek and then Blue Nation.
Yeah. Real quick before we get to Destin, are you making the trip here or are you staying back?
No, I'm staying back. I have 2 kids, and the second is only a few months old, so wasn't going to leave the wife to take a trip to New York this year.
Oh, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
No problem. Jarek, go ahead.
Hey, Dustin. So I want to talk a little bit about draft since since you said that you work with the with the NFL draft. I wanted to talk to you about these quarterbacks of what you're seeing so far. If there's any sort of improvement compared to weeks ago where we just said, you know what, this is a Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders type of. A quick take.
Yeah.
I think Kenneth Wark is a interesting prospect. I think he's interesting. I think Taylon Green from Arkansas is showing a lot of improvement. Since he went from the transition of an RPO based offense to now they've added more pro style concepts and I think 240 pounds and he does have elite speed. So again, are there any more kind of quarterbacks that are catching up to first round draft status like we kind of saw last year with Bo Nix kind of climbing into the fold?
Yeah, I mean, I still think the top tier of this class is gonna be Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. After those 2, though, I do think there's multiple guys that are presenting themselves to at least have the makeup that could attract a team to take them in the first round. And we've seen it the last couple of years. If you are even quote unquote first round adjacent in terms of skill at the quarterback position, a team's going to find you and could draft you in the top 15. So especially with how many teams need quarterbacks right now, I think LSU's Garrett Nussmeier is a guy that I think the NFL likes a whole lot more than maybe the online discourse around him is. And then Jackson Dart from Ole Miss is another guy who I think could really slide into the first round if he decided to go this year. So it'll have to be interesting to see how these draft cycles and the rest of this season plays out. I mean, the SEC is wide open in terms of the division, that conference championship, and that playoff spot. So it could all come down to how well these guys play down the stretch. And then obviously Jalen Milroe at Alabama is a guy that is going to have the tool set that a coach is going to see and be like, man, if we can just make him a better thrower of the football, like that kid could be really special. So I think those 3 are the guys that I'm watching to slide into the first round. I also love that you brought up Curtis Rourke, big IU guy here in Indiana, big year for that football program. I don't think he's a guy to slide into the first round conversation, but to be that accurate and to be able to run that style of pro offense that's being ran in Indiana, I think that's a guy to watch on day 2, early day 3 for a team to take a shot on an older prospect that could probably come in and play pretty early on if he needed to. But I don't know if a team would take the risk to make him a franchise quarterback, quote unquote, early pick level.
One more question. Do you feel like college defenses have kind of caught up to the modern day college of offense with the incorporation of more kind of NFL style of defenses?
I mean, I think we've seen a lot of NFL, like younger NFL coaches kind of migrate, especially positionally, migrate back into the college realm, which I think has probably helped a lot of things in terms of getting the speed of the game a little bit closer to what we see in the NFL in terms of defense for sure. And I think that plays a big factor. But I also think with a 12-team playoff, like I feel like more teams just feel like they have a shot at week 11 of the season like we do now, to where more teams have more to play for and you're not seeing as many kids kind of check out because I don't think you see it as much in the NFL because you just want to win every single game and you're being paid a lot of money to do it. And some of these kids in college are being paid a lot of money to do it now. But I still think a lot of heart still exists in the college football world that I think we're getting to see on a much bigger scale than we used to because of the only 4-team system.
Thanks, Jarek. Now, Destin, do you go down to the Senior Bowl and all that?
Yep, been down to the Senior Bowl the last 4 years.
Cool. I was just going to say, I was wishing, the Jets would be in the playoffs this year in January. So we might have you back on again in January or February, to talk draft, unfortunately, for the Jets. Like, this is just so bad, man. Like, I don't think you had them winning the division. Are you completely stunned at what happened here?
Yeah, man, I've seen a lot of things that fall off the rails before in seasons, especially covering the Colts the last few years. We've had some disaster starts and some disaster things happen. So it doesn't take a lot for a good football team to become a dysfunctional football team. Just a couple things to not go their way. And with the Jets, I think injuries, the offensive line hurts you. And even if I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the better older quarterbacks in the NFL in terms of his play and in terms of what he does with his mind, when your offensive line can't protect for a guy that, when we started this conversation talking about who was more immobile between Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco, I think the big thing that would have helped Flacco if he was the one playing was that the Colts offensive line is just playing at a much higher ability right now than what the Jets are, because I think the offensive line plays such a big factor when you are running with a non-mobile quarterback, which the Jets are right now. Shocking isn't crazy. I was pretty shocked that Saleh was fired mid-season. I think Saleh's a good football coach, and even if they needed a culture switch, I think in-season fires in terms of the NFL head coaching really should be reserved for guys that just are not getting the job done. And I just didn't think that equated to what Saleh's ability is as a head coach personally. And I think he's going to get another job pretty quickly, at least as a defensive coordinator in 2025.
Do you think
Fair
Rodgers
enough.
played into that decision?
I think Rodgers can play into a lot of decisions. I think you guys know that, being where you guys are and cover the team in your capacity. Aaron Rodgers is an opinionated dude, and I don't think he's ever been shy to share that opinion. And I can't imagine they fire Saleh unless he at least was okay with it happening. But I think there's a lot of teams like that. I just think Aaron Rodgers is one of the most, if not the most, vocal in terms of to the public what those opinions are.
Destin, I got a couple quick more for you, but just real quick, I want to get to Blue Nation. What's up, man? Good morning. You here?
What's up?
All right. You got something
Hey,
for Destin?
I got something for Dustin.
Yeah.
You're saying, Dustin, that we may not even be done with Chris Ballard after this season?
I severely doubt that we see him get fired. I think the leash is a lot longer than people want to think in terms of that relationship. Like I said, they're a game out of the playoffs right now. There really is, and they're entering one of the easiest stretches of their schedule. The only team left on it that I think somebody would circle and say, quote unquote, that's a difficult game, or quote unquote, like writing them off for the chance of winning it, is that Lions game. And with them only one game out, if they can go on a stretch here and make the playoffs, I don't think there's going to be any heat on Ballard's seat, even if there should be. I know people are going to be upset to hear that, but if I was a betting man right now, I would bet that Chris Ballard is back in his position for 2025.
But do you think Jim Irsay's daughters have any say of him getting let go?
Any say is, I think a couple of Irsay's daughters have begun the process of learning the ins and outs for when the day comes for the team to be passed on, with two of the three being very heavily involved in the day-to-day actions. So to say they have a say is one thing, but until Jim Irsay is not the owner anymore and has given that majority share to them, Jim Say is going to dominate, and he's still very involved, still very opinionated in those regards. So I would still assume that Jim is going to keep him around.
But I think one more question. But I think that they should just let him go because we got rid of Grigson after 5 seasons, and this is 8 seasons for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think should is a different conversation of if it happens. I mean, like I said earlier, this being year 8, still haven't won a division championship, not on track to win it this year, obviously. I think that has to matter. And if I was in charge, I think it would matter by now. But I think the relationship aspect needs to play a big factor here. Irsay and Grigson never had that strong of a bond to hold him when things got tough in terms of record. Ballard and Irsay have that. Like, they have a very tight relationship, probably one of the closest relationships you'll see between a GM and an owner, other than Jerry Jones with himself. So I think that plays a big factor.
Do you compare Jerry Jones and Jim Irsay the same person?
Same person's a little bit much. I mean, I think Jerry is a little bit more vocal than Jim, especially in a consistent basis. And obviously, Jerry is the GM and refuses to relinquish that power, even if people have asked him to. Whereas Jim Irsay may be opinionated, but understands that he needs to appoint people in those positions because that gives them the best chance to win. I mean, the best Colts teams ever were because he had a great head coach in Tony Dungy and a great GM in Bill Polian. I think Irsay knows his strengths, he knows his weaknesses, and he knows that he needs to have people in those positions. Now, does he allow his opinion to kind of cloud those things at times and kind of get involved where maybe he shouldn't? I think so. But that does not mean that he is on the Jerry Jones level quite yet.
Yeah. But thank you, Dustin.
Thanks, man. All right, Dustin, before a few quick ones from me. Buckeye, do you have anything before?
I just wanted to see if Augustine wanted to come off the mic because he's a Colts fan.
Yeah, Augustine, do you have anything before because I want to get Destin and we're going to wrap up soon. Do you have anything, Augustine?
I don't think you can talk, so go ahead.
All right. So Destin, as an outsider, obviously looking in, what would you do if you were the Jets? Would you tear it down, meaning, kind of gut some of the roster, cut all the dead money that, like Rodgers, get rid of Rodgers, tell him to go home? Or would you just clean house with the staff and try and run it back and hope you get the right hire right with the GM and coach? Give me your thoughts on that.
Oh, so you think Douglas is gone after this year too?
I do, yes. Why, you don't? I hear you got the kids.
Did you hear me? I'm sorry.
No, I didn't. Do you think Douglas could stay?
I'm not sure. I can't hear anybody else. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Buckeye,
Destin, can you hear me?
There's a technical issue on my end.
Can you hear me, Destin? No, I think I don't think you can hear anybody, Petey.
All right, let me get him back up here. All right.
I can hear you now.
Destin, you got me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Everything cut off on my end though. Sorry, I couldn't hear anybody.
It's all right. The spaces do that once in a while. So I think Douglas is gone, Destin. You think he has a shot at returning?
I mean, I don't know the Jets as much as you guys do, so I wouldn't know for sure. I always like when DMs and head coaches are tied to the hip a little bit, especially if it's been multiple. Just because I think it keeps each side honest a little bit, and I think both sides get invested into what they have to be. So that's what I would do, is probably replace both. But I just didn't know the feel there. And in terms of replacing veteran players, I'm not 100% sure like what Aaron Rodgers' cap hit for next year is, dead cap is, which that'd probably play a really big factor. But I mean, if you can get off the veterans, it seems like a situation that should teeter towards maybe resetting. But if Rodgers' contract's not really easy access off of, you're in a spot where moving off veterans and having to have him on your roster isn't really beneficial. So if you have to have him another year, you honestly kind of have to figure out what the best way to compete with him is.
Right. So my next question is, do you think there's a coach like a Mike Vrabel or somebody that's a really hot commodity that would come to New York, knowing that Rodgers is still here? Do you think they would take a shot knowing that after that year they're going to have to retool and reset, kind of?
I mean, the 1 of 32 aspect of NFL jobs always plays a factor, even when you think it won't. There's so many guys that are looking for their first opportunity to be a head coach that it has to matter. And I mean, you guys happen to be in a market that's very valuable in terms of these coaches who have been in the NFL ranks for quite a while, just not in the head coach realm, having to uproot their lives and move somewhere. I think selling New York is a pretty easy thing in comparison to Indiana, for example. I think it's going to be easier to sell New York on somebody than sell moving to Indiana for somebody. And apologize if you hear my son. I'm about to drop him off with his sitter, so couldn't keep him quiet for the whole time. But I definitely think that plays a factor. And with Aaron Rodgers there, I think you want to get a veteran head coach that's probably done it before, and opposed to like a first-time guy. So I guess if I had to just spitball somebody, because this isn't a topic I think about very often, obviously, a guy like Mike Vrabel, who's out there, very opinionated head coach. I think he's somebody that him and Aaron Rodgers could have a lot of healthy back and forth and pushback on, which I think would probably be a good change up of things for New York while they're dealing with Rodgers.
Destin, you know the guy I'm not excited about, but for some reason I see him coming here is McCarthy. I think Dallas is going to fire him, and honestly, I can see him as a Jet.
I mean, obviously that relationship's there. I feel like at the end of that relationship, it wasn't a good relationship, which could be an issue. But I mean, I don't know. I think at some point with the veteran retread route, like you got to take a break. And
I'm with you.
I think after this disaster season in Dallas, like I feel like McCarthy has to have hit that point.
I'm with you.
Yeah, Destin, I don't know. I know you got the kid. Can you take one more? There's one more hand up. Can you take one more question? All right, great.
You can shoot whatever. You just may hear a 3-year-old in the background, and he may have an answer to the question as well.
Hey, that may be a good thing. But we may need some young blood here in New York, man.
There you go.
Tom, go ahead, man.
I really think you guys need to hit the draft. You guys need to hit on all your draft picks this year. This is just me looking in from the outside, obviously. I think with Rodgers, obviously he wants to play next year. I like what the previous guy who just spoke said that maybe you guys get Mike McCarthy. The coaching staff does need to change. I would not pay Sauce Gardner top money. I would not give him $30 million a year or whatever he's going to think that he deserves. I just really think you guys need to hit on the draft this year, and your GM really has a tall task in front of him when it comes to the draft.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tom, real quick. Do you have a question for Destin? Because if not,
I apologize. No, I was just.
All right, give me a second, Destin. First of all, thank you again, man. You gave us some time. I'd love to have you back on here. I'll be in touch, and give me your prediction at the end. Who's the winner this weekend, or is it a tie?
I refuse to predict a tie. I'd rather lose if I was a competitor. I don't know if that would be received well within a locker room, but a tie just would hurt my brain and my heart too much as a competitor. But right now, if I had to predict it right now, I would say the Colts end up pulling it out, just because I think there's a little bit more morale and upside in that locker room right now than maybe New York has funneling it, which plays a factor. So I think I'll take the Colts to win a close one. I'll go 24-21.
Fair enough. Destin, did your Bluetooth switch on?
I think so. Did
All right.
the volume switch
Yeah,
in my car?
yeah, it's really loud, but it's all good. Listen, man, thank you so much for giving us a half hour of your time. I'll be in touch to talk off season and draft. But if you want to, tell everybody again where to find you or whatever, why don't you do that before we get you, about your day?
Yeah, I mean, if any of you guys are Colts fans that tuned in, obviously you guys can find my stuff at A to Z Sports, Indianapolis Colts. But really starting to ramp up the NFL draft coverage with scouting reports and different things already to kind of ramp up that part of my coverage.
Yes.
So even you guys that cover the New York Jets and are fans of the New York Jets, I'll have content there coming out really, really soon. So just be on the lookout. All of that can be found at A to Z Sports.
Yeah, Destin, before I get you out of here, somebody that I'm intrigued with is Will Johnson from Michigan, the corner, because I believe the Jets will move on from DJ Reed and they're going to need to, draft somebody in that regard. I like Will Johnson. Give me your thoughts on him. I know he's
Yeah, I
hurt,
mean,
but
that aspect obviously hurts, not being able to get a full season. But I think he is one of those type of prospects where it's not going to matter a whole lot. I mean, I think the NFL knows what that kid can do. They saw it the last couple of years, and I think even if he didn't play another game this year, I don't think his draft stock is going to be hurt by it. I think this is a guy who can excel in both man and zone coverages. I think he's probably going to lean more towards a place that lets him play a little bit more zone than man. I think he's a guy that has a really mature aspect of attacking the ball and doesn't allow himself to get too aggressive and let it bite him. I definitely think he's one of those guys that comes around every few years where you can put the blue chip label on a corner, which is a big deal. I think any team is going to have interest in him at the top of the draft board, whether they need a corner or not, especially when you're drafting in the top 10 of things. It's so important to hit on that pick that sometimes you see teams kind of go outside the realm of what's necessarily a need, just to make sure you hit on the player. And that could be the Jets. I mean, they don't need a corner, like you said. I mean, obviously Sauce and DJ Reed are a very solid duo. But if they want to move off some veterans and they want to go a little bit younger than Reed, I mean, a Will Johnson, Sauce Gardner duo for years to come would be very scary for opposing offenses.
all right, Destin, I'll be in touch and we'll talk to you soon down the way. Thank you so much. God bless
No
with the
problem. Thanks
kids
for
too,
having me.
man. You got
Appreciate
it.
it. Thanks for having me. Good luck on Sunday.
You got it, man. Thank you, man. Destin Adams, who covers the Colts. Thanks for joining. Follow him. Buckeye June, thank you. We're
Yeah,
going to
Petey.
close up.
Good space, brother.
June, I don't know if you're here still, but I'm coming for you again with these hot, takes. So it's all
I'll
good.
be ready, man. I'll be ready.
There you are. Neek, Tom, Augustine. I see